I know when you was out of town, I saw you post a $1 million dinner. So yeah,
Yeah.
elaborate on that.
All right. Man, I always try to preach there's billions of dollars in government contracts, billions of dollars. And I'm always like, how do I people to get the money? You know, I get like 5, 6 million a year. Those are crumbs compared to the billions that's out there. So I'm like, you know what, let me lock in. I always have friends and family trying to tell me, like, hey, can you show me how to do these contracts? And when I find out, a lot of people think it's more complicated than what it is, right? And I'm looking like, I want to have people that, who come from where I come from, look like me to get that money, right? So I was thinking all kind of ways like, man, how can I do this? I don't want to charge anybody. I kind of want to do it for free. And they're like, you know what? If they want to utilize my time, they can pay for it in the future. But I just kind of want to show everybody the game. But, talking to marketing, thinking about some things like, if you do it all the way for free, people don't value the time. People like, and then it can be a spot who really wants to do it, and they'll take somebody's spot and not even go, and they want to go to the bar or go to the club or something instead of actually getting this game. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to charge them for their dinner. So we're going to do $1 million dinner, 10 cities. I teamed up with STK. So STK in all the 10 cities, and, so probably a room with 20 people. Get acclimated and just go around. And I'm going to show you the game. I'm going to show you how these millions, like these easy contracts that you could get them. Yesterday I was in my class, we were searching for contracts. Let's look at the airport. I got a contract paying big money for lost and found. I mean, it's just so many things you could think about.
Right.
Can you work lost and found? If somebody contracts you to do lost and found, do you think you could manage that?
Man, yep, definitely.
It's so many easy stuff out there. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't think about a security guard contract. I always tell people in the airport, people who push the wheelchairs, those are contracts. You know what I mean? People put trash up, contract. Demolition out there who trying to figure it out and don't know how to figure it out.
So what's
look, another thing I want to tell you is a lot of people don't know. You don't need a college degree. You don't need a veteran. And you can have a felon to get a government contract. Those things don't hold you back.
Ooh, I hope y'all listening. So let's go back to when's like first kickoff. Cities are you going to?
I'm doing 10 cities. Starting in June, top of June.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off in San Diego. That's where we at. So San Diego, then we go take it to LA.
Okay.
Then we go take it to Vegas, take it to Phoenix.
Okay.
Then we go kick off over to Houston. We go to Atlanta, go to Miami, go to Charlotte, go to get DC, go to New York City.
Oh, that's a 10-city tour.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
So, but if there's other people who's interested, if you get a minimum of 20 people who want to sign up, I'll come to your city. You know what I mean? Somebody hit me up by Denver or Daytona. Somebody say, hey, you're not coming to our city. Yeah, get 20 people that want to sign up, and I could make it happen.
Okay. Do you have your pricing already?
Right now, I'm working on the price and how much it's going to cost for the dinner.
Okay.
For SCK.
That's cool.
So I just want to put it out there, get everybody out there so everybody can sign up and get the information, and then they could we can go ahead and get you on a list. Because there's going to be like 20 people per city.
Oh, so
you
it's
got
like
there.
it's a very personal course.
Yeah, it's $1 million dinner. I think people who's really focused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to be focused if you really want to get it. And, I'm going to give you that game. All you do is paying for your dinner, right? And I'm coming to give you the game. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
So I'm out there trying to spread love and show everybody what to do. I'm going to go charge you if you want to use my time and knowledge just to keep going.
Right.
That's what I'll charge you. You know what I mean? Like, because I can't give everybody one-on-ones.
Yeah.
But if you want to charge, if you want to join my weekly courses, one-on-one mentorship, we'll be all right.
Okay. That's what's up. About the courses, because I know everybody's going to be eager about it. Tell us about, the feeling when you made.
I didn't know I made 25 minutes after I did it.
Damn.
Because sometimes when you get your head down, you just keep going, right? Yeah. I made this on Rich Real Life. I looked it up. I'm like, oh, crap. I did 17 mil in the last 5 years. And then I looked up. Since I've been open, so I started, I've done 25 million federally. That's not including the state contracts, because when you look it up, it shows over $25 million I've done over the course of the last 10 years, federal contracts. But I got $1 million or $2 million here doing some other things on the side.
Got you.
Right? But it was a stretch. I made my first $1 million in 2017. And my first, good contract was $10,000 a month for 5 years. It's $120,000. It'll be between $120,000 and $150,000, for doing sandwiches. And then I got another contract where I was doing in Alaska, another 5-year contract where they're giving me about $60,000 a month to feed the veterans up there, right? And then I stacked on top of that. So that's so I got one for 5 years. It's 120 to 150,000 a year,
Yeah.
right? And then I stacked on another one. So that's like 10 to 15,000 a month. I stacked on another contract on top of that, doing about 60,000 a month. So that's like 70K a month, right?
Yeah.
And then I got some small contracts, catering service around the country. A little 30,000 here, 50,000 here, 100,000 here, feeding. And then those are one-offs. But then so say I did like $1 million on that in 1 year, the small one-off contracts. And then later on, I started saying, I want to go for the 5-year contracts. I get everything in place. I know where we're at. I know how much money we're going to make before I go to the store and buy some salt, right? So now I'm doing about 75,000 a month. And then I got another contract, had one up in Stockton, right, feeding the youth. That's 1.1 million a year, right? So stack that up. No, it was 1.2 a year. We was invoicing about 100,000 a month for the kids. So now I'm at 175,000 a month. You know what I mean? And then later on, I'm doing like a Calvet, doing feeding firefighters in Riverside. We're doing 50,000 a month on that. Now we're up to like 2 and change a month, right? So what I did was I got a baseline. I was just able to keep stacking and stacking and stacking. And then let the 5 years run out, let the 6 months run out, and then turn my head. I'm like, oh shit, I done did 25 million already.
That's crazy.
So like
when you hit that, right, the 25 million. But I know you just gave the breakdown for the level up, like how you increase your money by the years. So how did you keep your business organized?
You know what? I learned a lot of things from the military, right? When I was in the Navy, I worked in the aviation department. I was a flight attendant. I was a private chef / flight attendant / I rescue swimmer. So like dignitaries and senators in the world flew on Gulfstream Jet 5s. So I was on the planes, and if something was to happen, I have to save their lives. But at the same time, I'm like a flight attendant.
Right.
But they call us a TSA, TSS, Transportation Safety Specialists, right? So rescue swimmers, private chef / flight attendant, all in one.
Right.
But when I'm not flying on a jet, for our dignitaries and senators, I'm doing ground logistics. I'm setting up travel, right? Setting all the logistics for when my other comrades fly out. Because we'll swap out flying.
Right.
So they had this thing, football, right? Mm-hmm. And I learned that because when I first started catering, we'll forget something. We'll forget the fucking salad. We'll forget the juice. We'll forget a knife and fork, right? And maybe it wasn't organized. So I'm like, okay, I remember when we were in the Navy, it had this thing called the football. So the football was a cover letter, okay, right? A cover sheet. So the cover sheet would be like, I started putting in place the contract. Who's the employees for the contract? Where are they staying at? What's the budget they going? What's the closest store? What's the weather? Right?
Right.
What's the what rental car company? So the cover sheet would have everything, and inside that cover, inside folder would have the weather report, the lodging, the contract, who's the employees. So it's a football. So in that packet, I could pass it to anybody, and they'll know how to do the job.
Right.
Because you can't be like, hey, Billy, where are we staying at? You're asleep, you're not answering the phone, and the person who's on the ground don't know what's going on. So now when I'm doing these one-off contracts, I can give somebody the football, say, here's the football. You can open the folder up. You can tell where the weather's at. You can tell where I'm picking my car up. You can tell you can tell where the lodging is. Everything's right there in the football. And as a football controls the play. You know what I mean? So the military showed me that organization. I utilized it. It's crazy how you're somewhere where in your life and you didn't know you were there.
Right.
But being in the military, learning that operations part, now I'm using it in the Navy, in the civilian world, and it worked like tea because if you go by the football, you got everything. But if you don't use anytime we need a contract, a small job, we didn't use the football, we fell apart. And then I started saying, okay, now let me get the departments together. Like I had departments in the, in the civilian world, right?
Right.
So the part started in the military. So like the department, I wish I gave it to Mike so he could put in a slide my organizational chart. So is it too late to put it? All right. But my organization chart, so I started breaking it down. It's like, okay, so we need a CEO. I'm the CEO. We need the XO. Like in the Navy, you have the XO and the CMC. The XO is the number 2. Right. So I got a number 2 in place. I got a CMC. There's command master chief, what I call the operations officer. So the operations officer was in charge of all the ops. And then you have your divisional LCPO, divisional chief petty officer. So I started breaking that down at one in my company. Now I have that. I have the lineup where I have the number 2 person, the number 3, and the overall senior operations. And then I have the general managers, little small general managers in every location.
Right.
And they all have employees under them. And it shit worked.
So
To this day, it worked.
because being a business owner myself, so when it comes to like hiring people for your business,
Yeah.
how is that journey? Because I know that shit takes a lot to hire people and trust them with your business.
I hired the top dogs,
Right.
the ones who went with me. Number 2,
Mm-hmm.
and number 3, I hired those 2 people only. In this game of life, I found out you have to know your strengths and know your weaknesses and accept your weaknesses.
Right.
I accept that I'm a very nice person and I might get taken advantage of sometime.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to put bulldogs in front of me,
Got you.
right? Because people say all the time, you're in the basketball court, no, you need to make more threes. You need to jump higher. I can't. You understand that you know what you can do. I'm trying my best, and they're telling you to be harder. But it's like, you need to be more meaner. It's not me. I know who I am.
Right.
Right? Because sometimes you've been hearing things your whole life since you're a kid. I had that. Somebody say, hey, since I was a kid, they say you're too nice. You need to be tougher. You're too nice. I've been hearing that shit since I was 8, 10 years old. So I'm 42 right now, and I guess what I did? I'm a nice fucking person. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to put bulldogs around me. So it goes out there with employment, too, because sometimes I want to hire everybody because I want to give everybody a chance. Like, man, nah, this person needs it, and I don't want to fire somebody because they got a family. But if I step away from that and I just have my executive managers do the hiring process,
Right.
I'm good, and it works. So I hire that one person I trust to lead it, and now I don't have to talk to him. Just same with you when you worked for me, you talk to the employees.
Yeah.
I try to keep a limit. Some people didn't understand it, but I knew if I built a rapport with you, I'm gonna feel bad, and I don't want you to go. You might be the business might be failing, but I'm one who wants to see you succeed. And I always learned, like, when you have the thought of firing somebody, you're supposed to fire them. Mm-hmm. In the business world, like, you fire faster than you hire.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I know all the traits too, but hiring something I never do. That's a weakness of mine because I hire a lot of the wrong people.
So what year was that when you hired your team? Would you say? Like, well, you're fully admin, if that makes sense. Which is, let's just say you're Fab 5. Let's like that.
Well, I'm gonna put this org chart up. So hold on, let me see if I can share this, Mike. Let me see if I can share this to you, Mike, if it's okay. Hey, Mike, I'm sending you an airdrop. Yeah, when I first started my company, I had Shannon Quick. I remember she was a server, and she seen me in the back. She seen me in the back with a whiteboard, trying to figure out these government contracts.
Yeah.
And then submitting. She was a server. She's like, yo, $12 an hour. Yo, what you over there doing? You know, government contract space.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. So she's like, hey, can I help out too? You know, I'm all right. I can figure it out. She's been on ever since. And I know some stuff, and then she learned the game with me coming up. And then I knew her strengths, and I had to learn how to trust her.
Right.
And it worked. You know what I mean? So I have, it worked.
So it's probably around like.
That was 2017. I hired her.
So 2017, and then so what made you get like so hungry about getting more contracts? Like,
I need to pay bills. You know what I mean? I had to pay bills. I messed up. So, man, that's why I like no gatekeeping, right? Because it's like a world where a lot of people is gatekeeping. And I'm trying to learn this government contract stuff, and ain't nobody really showed me the inside. I had to fucking just do it. I remember I had a contract, man. It was like I had to borrow some money. They said it was like $700,000. I get about $780,000 per year for that contract.
yeah.
It was called IDIQ contract, right? Mm-hmm. Indefinite quantity. Like, I mean, they call you when they need you. I'm like, man, you got me for $780,000 in Oregon. Cool. So I borrowed a couple hundred just to get it going. Moved the staff up there, got everything going, and then within 12 months, they only used me for $77,000 that 1 year worth of work. I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to get almost 800,000. Like, what happened? She's like, yo, this is an IDIQ contract.
Oh, damn.
Now, all the stuff I'm paying labor, paying for housing, vehicles, and like, yo, it is what it is.
So, for people that don't know what's it called?
IDIQ.
IDIQ.
Yeah, indefinite, definite definition quantity. It's a contract.
Yeah.
I gotta look it up. It's a contract we use use when they need you.
Okay.
And I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah.
I just thought I signed a contract for $780,000. They was giving me little purchase orders like it was like saying you to the store to run food. Like, hey, I need you to feed us. I'm gonna pay you $5,000 on Saturday to feed us. You know what I mean? On Sunday, I'm gonna pay you X amount of dollars. Then you don't hear nothing for another couple of weeks. You know what I mean? But
Damn.
that's me moving fast and just not understanding. You know, I didn't have a mentor in the field I was doing these food service contracts and making it. I'm like, yo, I just want a contract for fucking
So
seven.
then, did that put you in a hole? Did that put you in a hole?
When I get out the hole, I'm taking. Then it was a high interest. You know, I took from hard money.
Right.
You know, and then on top of that, later on, I'm like, okay, cool. When I started telling you I was building fast, I'm building to $300,000 a month of invoicing, because I just winning contracts, winning. All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm just keep on winning contracts, winning. Then what happened? I start failing sometime. I ain't have everything in place, so now I start failing on contracts. All right, this is how my company looks. We talk structure, right? You know, this is something I built. You know, I'm very proud of Admiral's experience. You know, me as a CEO, and you got Director of Contract Administrative, number 2, right? Then we got Director of Operations, Brian, right? So Shannon is the number 2, pretty much machine of the game.
Right.
That person oversees every operation around. Chris, the executive mission, she's set aside to the side. She works directly for me, the number 2 for Shannon, right? She helps me keep in line, like, hey, these bills are due, my accounts payables as well, right?
Yeah.
And make sure the taxes, everything's like that good. Works with it. She does a lot of the QuickBooks, things like that. Works with our CPA. Then we have the nutritionist, our registered dietitian. She works with all my nutrition, my menus. Because we're in the food space, you got to work on all the menus, make sure the menus are good. And then you have the executive chef, the trainer, Jeremy. So he's the department head. He's almost like department head. So he could go and fly anywhere to Alaska, San Diego, anywhere, and be over their location and train a new manager, make sure everything's good. He works directly for Brian, the operations person.
Okay.
And then you have all the other sites down there. You got Christina Tarp. What city is she in? I think she's Indiana. We have Eddie out there in San Diego. You have Naima in Detroit. You have Randy. Where is Randy at? I think Vermont. And you have Alaska. You have Atlanta. Aki in Atlanta.
Okay.
Right. And I don't talk to these people. You know, I don't. Yeah. My employees, my GM, I'm the highest in the rank. Only people I ever talk to is Brian, Shannon, and Chris. Everybody else doesn't have access to me.
Damn.
Right.
Dope.
But this is just something I built. Of learning the military and learning the business. I never owned the business before that, but that's where I'm at right now. And and I'm proud and happy I did it like that. And they're bulldogs. Brian and Shannon are bulldogs. We make sure I'm good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Jeremy, he's out there. Like, he fly to Vermont, fly to Alaska. He trains everybody. He oversees all that. So that's the structure of the business.
Right.
And it kind of just built over time.
We might have to get a little deep on this one though.
You never knew I had that.
No, I knew.
It had all this at the same time as chefs. You know what I mean?
So that's what I was gonna say. So, a lot of people don't realize that you funded Chef Fest, and then you also had one friend that you made that phone call to help out.
Yeah.
But mainly you put up the bigger funds.
The friend I made the phone call, I said to pay him. We ran out of cash. It's like, hey man, so.
But going with that, like, did Chef Fest, did that affect your business?
100%. I had to take money. I took money from my striving business to fund the business that I had vision on, right? And then it didn't financially do what it's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And of course, the thriving business gonna look like, hey, what's going on? The toy he wanted to play with. I mean, even Chefs wasn't profitable.
Right.
You know what I mean? The only real profitable business I ever had was my government contract company.
Right.
Admiral's Experience. everything else is things I tried. You know what I mean? And I had a vision, but I'm happy I did everything because all those other things actually put me in a place where I wouldn't even be right now if I didn't even do that.
No, 100%. And when it comes back to everybody wanting you to throw Chef Fest, like how's that feel?
I'm a postpone it this year. I haven't announced it yet because I want to put something in place with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like I don't know. Like I don't feel the love. Like I'm be honest. Like
Yeah.
if I'm doing something, I don't get nothing out of it.
Right.
I'm like, why don't people help me do it? You know what I
Right.
mean? You know, sponsor, finance, and then like really, if everybody buy their ticket ahead of time, just like everybody running to buy the Chris Brown ticket,
Right.
right? I put a ticket for $25 up front. You know, this time and it's moving like fucking like, you know, like slow paint.
Right.
And I'm like, man, if I get an X amount of people to buy the tickets, I could use that funds to go ahead and fund their favorite artist, fund what they want to do. But I'm like, does it make sense for me to actually take a loss right now? I did it already. I proved that I can do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do. Thinking about doing a hip hop summit.
Mm.
Right? I know, like a lot of people in San Diego don't have the access to musicians
Right.
or executives, A&Rs, top people. So I'm like, man, I can actually bring the Empire down here, Executive Atlantic, Executive Columbia, and I can have them sit the panel and watch people perform, see what they got, right?
Yep.
And I can have a performer actually, you know, host it, go ahead and do their thing. I'm like, but I'll still be taking a risk.
Yeah.
I got to figure. I never did one before. I got to figure out how much of a risk does that take
Right.
for me to do it. But I think a lot of time, man, when I do things because I have the passion for it. I do things for money.
Yeah.
When I was getting contracts, I was doing more contracts. I had to do it because I needed to pay bills.
Right.
Right. But like most time I do stuff is for the passion. Money comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. Like, you know, I never be like, man, I want to do this because I want to be rich. I was doing it because I had love for it, and then the money just came with it.
Right. I mean, I feel like that's a great move.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know, you did it for the city, you know, and you know, unfortunately, the people are taking it for granted.
Yeah.
You know, with having tickets available for like $25, so you're just gonna, yeah.
Yeah, think about it. If I had 500 people that buy tickets for $25 a person ahead of front, shit, I take that money right there and put it to their favorite show. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it's like, you know, Chris Brown might have tickets for $200 and it's gonna sell out, you know, 1,000 people within minutes.
Right. So
But that's what they like.
Just one more time. So how much you think you dropped on Chef Fest?
About 400.
400 what?
400,000. I did about 400K. Lost about 250K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then right after that, I put an investment for 100K into the new establishment. And right after that, I had some legal issues. I had to come up with a couple $100,000 to try to fucking clean my name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like taking those L's. And at the same time, still paying family members and friends their bills, their rents, helping them out.
I know.
You know what I
That's
mean?
another
So-
thing. That's another thing, you
Yeah.
know. But you definitely had a lot of obstacles and hurdles that you had to, you know, overcome.
Mhm.
And now, you know, I feel like this is the first time I kind of get to see you. You're a head above water right now, like getting that big gas of
Yeah.
fresh air, you know. So I'm just trying to see, like, how are you feeling now? Like, how's the financial gain? Like, are you finally seeing the fruits of your financial gains?
Yeah, but there's still a lot of things. There's still a lot of skeletons I got to clean up from the past. You know what I mean? Like getting where I'm at, there's a lot of things happen. Had lawsuits in Texas, lawsuits in Arizona. You know what I mean? Through the business. You know, I'm talking about you're talking about imps. I'm talking about people that sue me for millions. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of things come with this.
Yeah.
When you start becoming successful and start making that money, shit come with it.
Gotcha.
I mean, but the shit about it is, I just want to show everybody how to not to step in those potholes like I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can tell you how not to step in the potholes. I'm a wounded warrior.
Yep.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to listen.
Oh, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so now you got the dope team. So you explained out the dope team. I'm glad he pulled it up. That was perfect. So everybody got the visual. So now, like, when you see your team, you be like, do you ever be like shocked? You be like, damn, like this, I really have a team. I really have my company. Like, I really got people really repping my company now. going 100% hard for my company.
Man, you know, I have that syndrome, man. I don't be thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I'm grateful for them. But trying to build the empire bigger.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because when I was building a team, I hired a lot of wrong positions at the time, and then had to fire those people because it was a waste of money. You know what I mean? But it took years to build and understand. But I am proud of them. I'm proud of the team, proud of that I was able to put that thing in place. That's why, like, man, I could never take it back from being in the military. That shit really got me to, like, a place where I would have thought about being. I mean, structure and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fact. You know what I mean? It's a big fact.
You definitely laid a lot of gems, and like I feel the interview, everybody has a real better understanding of the government contracts, where you started from,
Facts.
where the money, like when the money started rolling in, how, and then you coming up.
Yeah.
Like I can see why, you know, whatever your price is worth it.
And you know what I going, man, showing people you get that money. And you know, it's crazy. It bothers me, but I'm gonna keep doing it. People's like, Chef, you know, on your social media, you post girls twerking, you post you with gangbangers, blah blah. I'm like, I'm just being who I am. So yeah, but it's like that, but they hide it though. You know, everybody's around gangbangers or around girls who be twerking, but they don't show it. So man, you guys are hiding who you are. That's how I feel. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of times I show what's going on, having fun. I'm having fun. Like I'm transparent of what fun is to me. And 95% of those people have way more time than I am, but I'm just being transparent to who I am. Mm-hmm. And then I come from the hood, so a lot of people who I can relate to are gangbangers and hood people. I can relate to them because I grew up in the same like background as them. So what I'm doing, I have a drink with certain people because where they're at, I can relate to them. And hope what I get to them is like, hey man, you gotta turn that hustle to some legal money. Because, you know what I mean, they run they run the organizations too. People that sometimes do street stuff, they running the business. But it was never shown any other way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Diddy had a song he made a long time ago where he says, imagine if money making Mitch went corporate, how much money he would be and where he would be at. But that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it on that. I mean, like I said, like you're definitely doing more than your due diligence and showing people how to millions. And like you actually having courses. Now you're having dinners. Like, you know, it's actually growing. And you started what? 3 months ago, full fledged. So like now, you know, I know you're an eBook as well, right?
I got another ebook right now, The Power of Global Networking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so my boy fucking, he told me, like, man, you're a great networker. I'm like, damn, you know what, I am. And being on this tour with Dom Cannon and Casey Veggies, I'm like, yo, I really had that guy. I'm really, every city, I'm that guy. It's dope. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, when I go to the, like, yo, Chef, I'm like, yo, it's crazy how I could move around in every city because I kept relationships with people. You know, since the pandemic, I've been moving around a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're a party in a different city because you can't party in your city. Then you build relationships. And then you're growing and then people start to know who you are. And now I can put plays together, just be networking, man. You know what I mean? About following through it. Networking is big because you got to follow through. I remember like first time I met Tyler Yahweh, he did a song and he said, hey, man, I'm going to Canada, Toronto. You know, I'm like, I'll pull up. He said, pull up on me. He ain't going to pull up. I really pulled up. Right. You know what I mean? That me and him were locked in for forever. You know what I mean? A lot of time I pulled up with people in different cities. You know what I mean? Just keep that relationship going because, you know what I mean? You could be with the idol today and that person, like, he won't remember you next year.
Yeah.
You got to figure out I want to be around you. I want to be around people come try to pick their brain and try to be in positions they're at or use their network. And sometimes you could be around somebody and be like, I ain't getting nothing out of this person, but that person could put you in place with other people. So never count anybody out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. That's some gems right there.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I guess, I think it's that time for you to do your other segment.
Yeah. We go. So appreciate y'all. You know, we gonna get in here. Now, I mean, we do what it do. I got them hats and things on. Relax today.
You know what I mean? This is crazy.
I got that Bentley hat. You dig?
But yeah.
All right, shit. Till next time, y'all.
Yeah, rich in real life. There's a difference. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's a fact. Yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm creeping.
I'm rich in real life.
Got so many motherfuckers hating on me.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
My money never run out.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
This ain't no come up.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
City to city.
Rich in
niggas hating on me